hot to chops. So welcome this morning, viewers, to day 3 of the Crafty Online Distillers Conference. I hope you've enjoyed the first couple of days, and I hope some of you were able to tune in this morning for David's chat with Tommy at Beacon Commodities about quite important stuff, issues around the world and how they're affecting people sourcing their botanicals. So I put a thing on my Twitter, it's like, that's where your drink comes from, you know, it's quite important, and people tend not to think that far back in the process, but it's very important. So this morning, we've got a story for you. I'm not sure how many of you have seen the video already, but this is Ollie from Hell or High Water. I'm forgetting what I'm saying now, it's first thing in the morning, I need a bit more coffee. So I think what we'll do to get started, Ollie, if we could just maybe go back a little into the story that we shared on the previous video, and just kind of go over the story as to how you had a brand and how you had to rebrand.
Sure. Yeah, if in a nutshell, our story goes back about 10, 12 years. We started with a brand called Ron de Jeremy, which started with a little joke. Ron is the Spanish for rum. You know, there's Ron Bacardi, Ron Barcelo, Ron Chacapa, and all these Rons. And we thought, we were thinking who was the most famous Ron in the world, and quickly came to Ron Jeremy, who was probably the most infamous Ron. But then anyway, very big name at his time. And we thought that's fun. That was a good joke. And we based the brand on that, and it was always two-sided. The branding was about humor, but the rum was serious, and we did that for about 10 years until Ron Jeremy himself got into trouble, and well, basically he's been in jail for the past 2 years waiting for the trial, and that caused a bit of a problem for us, since all publicity is not good. There's a limit. There's a line that definitely crossed the line. So we obviously had to stop our relationship with him. We didn't continue our agreement with him, and we had to rebrand, or we were facing the options of what shall we do at that time. Shall we continue with the Ron de Jeremy brand? And obviously that was not sustainable, morally sustainable option for us, and it was not commercially either, so that we couldn't. That's an option we couldn't take. Then we could have just said that we had a good 10-year run in the spirits business, and we go back to doing what we used to do. Our background is in advertising and branding, and hence we like to brand spirits as well. But we like this crazy business, and so we decided to continue and rebrand. And the result of the rebranding, and quite quickly, we when we're thinking where does the new brand come from, and we all agreed that it's the story, it's our story, the journey, 10 years in the spirits business, constantly banging your heads against the wall, meeting and overcoming obstacles, adversaries, and all that. So that's how we came into this phrase, come hell or high water, and that, which means you never quit. You're willing to do whatever to overcome the obstacles, and you just keep on fighting, keep on going. And that felt really something that fits us. And at that time, 2020, we were in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody was having difficulties, so we felt that it might resonate with other people as well. So everybody was having lots of trouble. So that's where we are quickly.
Yeah, I have to say, well done on summing that up so concisely. So just for the people watching, I first spoke to Ollie for Rum's the Word magazine, which is part of the Craft Rum Box. I'm editor of that, and we featured your rum, didn't we, Ollie? So we had to have a chat, and I wrote this article, which took me a lot longer. I should have got you to write it. David did say, I think the thing is with summing up, I should say, you know, like, to say 10 years, that makes it you pass over it so quickly, but that was a big 10 years for you. There was a lot of effort and time that went into building that brand, for you to have to start again, essentially. David T. Smith, he has commented to say it's a really great story, Ollie, and an inspiration. I think a lot of people would have given up. A true entrepreneur. That's
Thank you, David.
yeah, nice. So there are a couple of things I just thought it would be nice to build on that we picked up in the video before. So yeah, it's quite something I mentioned just before, actually. It was kind of a clever move to build your brand on a person, because they've already got this established network and this identity, and people already know who they are. So you're almost getting like a foot up there. But equally, by doing that, you're then kind of pegged to being associated with them and whatever they do later on. It's I suppose it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, there's many couple sides into this. Obviously, when you start with a celebrity who is known, you don't need to start from zero. As if you build a brand X, you start from zero. You have to build everything, all the awareness and everything. When you start with the celebrity, you are instantly at some level. And when we started with Ron Jeremy, at that time the joke was, it was a good joke at that time. Then obviously 10 years happened, and a lot of stuff happened. He got older, Me Too happened, and then at the end of the day he got in trouble. But when we started it was all good fun. And we got massive amount of publicity, just enormous amount because there were hundreds and hundreds of blogs and mainstream media, and everybody was writing about it, and it was always the same narrative in those stories. They always said that, okay, I thought this funny, I thought maybe a little gimmicky, but funny got my attention. Then I tasted, and wow, this is good.
Yeah.
So that's how we based our branding on those two smiles. First, from the recognition of Ron Jeremy, that's funny, or that's weird, that's crazy, or whatever. It always drew some kind of some kind of emotion. But then the second smile we got when people tasted, because the rum was and still is very, very good. But yeah, that's one point. With the celebrity branding, obviously there are a lot of those brands around. Those that are successful, there is the celebrities is actually doing something, not only giving his or her name, but being very active with their network and promoting actively and going around with the bottle. So those ones, it's not enough to just have a name, but the person has to be really actively involved in the marketing.
That's actually a really good point, because do you know, that's kind of taken me on to a different train of thought, actually, because there has been a lot of stuff recently about celebrity endorsements and attachments to the products. I think we could probably say one of the most successful is Ryan Reynolds with Aviation Gin. Like, he's done brilliantly with that.
That's a good example. I think he's part owner, and he's really active. He puts himself out there. He does a lot of funny videos, and obviously has a massive following. But he's not just giving his name. He's just making the effort, like the Rock is, and George Clooney did as well, and so. But then on the other hand, there are a lot of guys who just give their name and expect those kind of miracles to happen.
Yeah. I think there's a Kylie Minogue wine, isn't there? I think it's a Kylie wine. I can't remember, but I bought one bottle of that because why not? But I probably won't buy it again. You know?
Yeah, that's the other thing. The liquid has to be good. No matter what's on the label, whose name is on the label. If the liquid's not good, then you may buy a first bottle, but the liquid sells the next bottle. So
yeah, absolutely.
You may buy the first bottle because you like that celebrity, or you like that brand or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't deliver, then
yeah, exactly.
Sure.
David has popped up to say he quite liked the Kylie wine, and that's absolutely fine, David. That's up to you. It was okay. I would drink it again, but I probably wouldn't buy it. I think that's the difference, isn't it? If it was in front of me, I would, but I probably wouldn't buy it. But yeah. I would like to touch a bit more upon because essentially what you have to do, you kind of have this angle with the brand, like being attached to, you know, a celebrity, and you kind of had to start again and come from a completely different angle. And what I really love about your story is that it's come from such a wholesome place. It wasn't that you picked a different, say, sort of sales angle to go from. You're like, what are we doing? And you kind of, it was very much, I've said it a few times, heart on your sleeve, kind of, well, here we are, kind of thing. And I think that's what's worked really well for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think people recognize it's authentic and it's honest, and we are really putting ourselves out there with a bit of self-depreciating tone. So people tend to like that.
Yes.
And when we don't take ourselves too seriously, people see that that's true for us, and they like that attitude. But one thing I need to say this: we don't really start from zero now, because we've been doing the work for 10 years. Yeah. We've built the network, we built the connections, and that is more important. I think that's the most important thing. We have, okay, it's really unfortunate that we had to rebrand, but luckily we have a lot of kind of income. We've created a lot of good things that we can bank on. Yeah. The connections, the people, the liquid, all that we have. So it's all that made it much easier to do the rebranding. Yeah. We get the support from our distributors, our importers. They obviously understood why we needed to rebrand. Yeah. But they also knew that the liquids are really good, and they knew us. They knew they could depend and trust on us doing sort of the right thing, or creating a brand that they can then sell. Because we need to give our importers something that they can use, they can sell, that because that's their livelihood. Yes. They need to like the brand on personal level, but obviously the brand needs to be, and the liquid needs to be something that they can sell.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we have touched on this before, but I find it such an interesting conversation. Is that, you know, the psychology, the mental connection you make to the liquid you drink. So, you know, if it's a good quality liquid, it's a good quality liquid. But I've started to find more and more power in what you have, this idea of this brand and who these people are that are behind the product, and that's kind of what you're thinking about when you drink it. And the more attached you get to that story, it kind of connects with the experience of the flavor, which is very strange how your mind put those things together. But it's a very powerful thing. So, you know, branding is even with a good liquid, it can create a much richer experience for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that even if you're in a lab, the liquid has to be good. Sort of even in a sort of laboratory environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no it has to be good, but the story affects the taste.
Yes, yeah.
The story brings something. You kind of taste the story with the liquid, but obviously no matter how good the story, it doesn't save a bad liquid. It enhances the good liquid.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a very true fact. It can't save a bad liquid. David said the self-deprecation is strong. Some great pictures on the website. Still plenty of personality, but a different and better personality. I'd like to direct people to take a look at the website if they haven't yet, because the video as well, because you went full throttle, didn't you, for the video? So just for people that haven't seen it, if you could just touch on, you know, the sort of the clothing and why, and the story behind where that came from?
Sorry, what?
Oh, the story when you went to the exhibition, because I like that story. You know, you went to the exhibition and you were wearing
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, if you saw, if anybody saw the video we did, or if you look at the website and those videos or the pictures, we are wearing the sort of Hello High Water costume or makeup. We look, or basically we look like shit. So yeah, we do that in different exhibitions. Like we were in last October in Bar Convent Berlin. We were walking around in looking like that, me and my partner. So a lot of people they got kind of worried. What happened to you? And obviously we can say that 10 years in the rum business happened to us. That's why we look like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to see people's reactions, and that's part of the self-depreciating manner that we're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Oh, go on, sorry.
A lot of brands. I mean, brands are built by people, and a lot of people take themselves quite seriously. So that transcends to the brand. And then when people who are a bit too serious build brands, then the brands tend to be a bit too uptight. So even though our liquids, we have super premium rums, most of the competition is they're pretty serious. They talk about the provenance and the master blender and all the usual stuff. We although our liquids are on the same level, we try to portray us and the brand in a different way.
Yeah.
That's more relatable to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And walking around looking like shit is part of that.
Well, everybody does that at some point, you know. I think that's at a base level. Yeah. If obviously it's a big job to rebrand, so do you have any advice? I mean, I have spoken to other distilleries that generally through like a legality reason, if there's something in their branding or the name they didn't realize and it gets picked up by somebody else and they have to rebrand. Have you got any tips for, you know, essentially saving costs and ways you can cut corners with a rebrand to help make it a bit more efficient, I guess?
Well, I think we need to go back to the basics of branding or the basic mission of branding, which is to differentiate yourself from competition.
Yeah.
To be recognized. It seems like also in many industries, but spirits also, a lot of people try to look like everybody else because then they think, now I kind of belong into this group.
Yeah.
Now my gin belongs to the gin family because it looks like everybody else. It kind of looks like gin.
Yeah.
Or looks like, and I think it will save a lot of money. It would be cost efficient to create the brand in such a way that it creates awareness. It creates a difference.
Yeah.
If the most basic formula of advertising is idea times money, then if the idea is good, then you need less money. If the idea is bad, you need more money.
Yeah.
So it's kind of as simple as that.
Yeah, so you did be very clever with your idea, essentially. Just get that idea right from the get-go, and then everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. That's really interesting. I suppose from like a branding perspective, because we have had other talks before on branding. Leanne Ware of Distinctly Ware, she's done a brilliant talk for us before on, you know, sort of branding and rebranding and stuff. And for me, I don't know what other points there are, because for me it's that point of connection. So with gin, the way it grew was because of a lot of it was locality and having gin that was made in a particular area and it had a particular local botanical, and in doing that, and it's like a genius move really, because not only does it make something, it gives it an immediate identity, but equally there's then the possibility to have so many different ones, and they're all worth collecting and experiencing. So kind of a genius move, that. But also the human connection as to what you guys have done. So, and then I suppose that kind of leans into historical connection as well, when you get spirits that have like an old story that they go back to. Can you think of any others? I don't know why I feel the need to explore this now. No, I think that's, if you buy a product, what do you buy it for? What sort of brands appeal to you?
I think everybody buys with their eyes first.
Yeah.
And then they can go deeper into the actual product. I am attracted to brands like, well, obviously, like what I just said, brands that stand out, and I kind of feel and see that there's somebody tries to make a difference that appeals to me.
Yeah, lovely, good stuff. And I'm trying to think what to go through now. When you're setting up a brand in the first place, obviously you've got the look and you've got the idea. Where do you start with the design, do you think? Where would you get inspiration from?
Yeah, good point. I think the inspiration needs to come from the idea, and it needs to work together with the idea. It needs to be related to the idea, and then I think we as well, we look what's happening in the category, and there we get some cues, and okay, that this shows that we are part of the category, but we need to then find a way that differentiates us from the category, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm taking the opportunity to probe you a little with your branding experience.
Yeah. No, that is interesting. I think, well, obviously the name is really important, and a lot of the visuality comes from the name, depending on whatever name you have, but those things need to work in tandem.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much. I was going to ask you as well how you're doing with sales and stuff, and if there's anything new, because the last product you had out was the XO, wasn't it? When was that? I don't know what day it is, Ollie. It was a few months ago, wasn't it? You launched that through the Craft Fun box. How is the XO sales going? Are they going good?
XO is going well. XO over here, the one in the beautiful black bottle. Yes. It's by far our best-selling product. We have a core range now. We're actually developing a new product at the moment, but we have the core range of Reserva, XO, and Spiced.
Yeah.
And it's funnily enough, XO is clearly most expensive, but since it's aged up to 15 years, but even though it's more expensive than the others, it's by far the best-selling product.
Nice.
So people really enjoy that.
Yeah, that's a really good testament to the product, I think. And they do look so nice, because you've got the nice cardboard sleeve as well, and the branding is so lovely with sort of the dark color and sort of the gold foil and stuff. It's a really nice touch. Quite kind of rough and ready. It's good. Yeah, lovely stuff. We've had a comment from Tony. Tony's a lovely guy. He watches a lot of our stuff. He's just said, I've just read the website. What impresses me so much about your struggle is the deep inner strength you have had to fight back for what you knew so strongly is right. Because sometimes wrongs done to us are just so wrong, they must be fought. Respect to you. Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, that's very nice. Thanks for that, Tony. That's lovely. We're getting to our last few minutes now, so if you've got any other questions or comments, do send them in. I think we've kind of covered most things. I'm just trying to think about the video. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on? I'm trying to think what we covered in the video now.
Yeah, well, maybe I just wanted to say it's not all struggle. I mean, we also have good. It's a business where you have have a lot of laughs. There's great people, a lot of camaraderie, and a lot of great friends. So it's it's not all. If we only struggled, I don't think we would be here. But it's we've had a lot of struggles, but in the meantime, we had a lot of good time, and like the original brand was based on humor, so we had a lot of fun on doing that, and it is a business where you meet a lot of great people, and you get a lot of support and from other small brands, and I think that's one of the reasons I'm speaking here today. I think all the small brands should stick together and work together and learn from each other and share ideas and contacts and so on, and so we can steal a small portion from Bacardis and Smirnoffs of this world.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, thank you. That's a really good point. I mean, the drinks industry, it's why I've made my home here, really. It is such a lovely network of people.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you know, people get the idea that it's competitive, but I think there's a bit of healthy competition here and there. But generally, like, you know, if somebody needs a hand with something, they can reach out to people and they'll be there. Yeah. It's very much a case of people helping each other out and supporting and helping everyone grow. And it's that kind of attitude as to why I love it here so much. You can really flourish here and help each other flourish as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, lovely. Well, I think we are getting to time now. So I'm going to wrap it up, I think. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure to have you on. And forgive